Welcome to Elite Automotive, home of high-performance upgrades, custom builds, and all-out performance on the late model beats. Let's go meet the team. Paul is the owner, operator of Elite Automotive and runs a tight ship. Establishing the business in 1998, it's a passion that drives Paul to keep at the forefront of automotive excellence. Steve is assistant management at Elite. Between looking after customers' needs and organising the daily runnings of Elite, this man is usually a blur. Tim is the drill sergeant at Elite. His obsession with perfection is undeniable and rules the workshop with an iron fist, making sure nobody drags a chain. Don't let that smile fool you. They call him the boy from Billow. Keegan is Mr. Nice Guy, Toyota trained and ready for anything. Keegan always goes the extra mile with each build and never seems to lose that smile. Tonight we have an FPV GTE undergoing a specialised upgrade. The team are chucking a massive 2.8 litre Kenny Bell supercharger onto this already incredible car with customer Phil looking to push this ball terror to the absolute maximum. He hopes this means he can take home the trophy at next week's Ford versus Holden grudge match at Norwell to prove his point. The team are hoping to see massive gains, and because this is a build unlike any other seen on the East Coast, there are a myriad of unknowns and loads of problem solving for the team.
We've got the GTE, the fastest FPV motor magazine have ever tested. It ran 11.5 tested with the factory blower, which we've just taken off down here, and 11.5, and it drove back from Sydney and ran 10.9 in the exact same trim with these tyres on it, street tyres. So it's a very, very fast car. But the owner, well, he's a little bit, wants a little bit faster. So we've taken the factory blower off and we're fitting a Kenny Bell blower, which is the factory blower is a 1.9 litre. We're fitting a Kenny Bell blower, which is a 2.8 litre blower, which is going to make some super power. So it's a kit that's not really a kit, it's something we've sort of had to make up, send away. The customer bought the blower and we've had it made an adapter and everything like that. So we're in the midst of trying to get it on the car. It's pretty fiddly because it's not a straightforward kit. Let's go and have a look.
Keegan has begun by removing the existing kit, prepping the block for the brand new American kit and to see what space and modification he'll need to install the new Kenny Bell unit.
Oh shit! We're in the spotlight. He's like $80. Customer is doing the modification simply to make more power than what he's got. It's already pumping around about 450, 430 kilowatt in between that. That's at the rear wheels as well. We're going to put this Kenny Bell onto it. It is a made up kit. As far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of modification in it, and probably not as simple as the factory design, but should get there, and hopefully it does make around 500 to 550 in the end. What I've done so far is I've removed the old charger and intake manifold and supercharger bolts down here on the top. This is the cooling part of it. Water coolant runs through here, down through the water pump, induced through here, air cools it down, making our intake temperatures. As you can probably see through the plastic here, we've got it's like a mini radiator core, and that's mounted inside the actual manifold. As the air goes through that, push through by the blower, air goes through that, cools the whole intake system down, makes our air cooler. You can compress more air. Okay, what I've had to also do too is modify these fuel rails. These are standard fuel rails. Apparently the person that helped make this kit up recommends to use US design fuel rails, but we have to go changing the whole system, including the standard fuel lines to fit that. So we're going to give it a shot with the standard rails. They said it could be done, so hopefully it works out. There's a little bit of playing around here. We've got an air bypass coming out the front. You'll see it later on as the blowers put it back on the car. It's just a lot of tedious little stuff we have to get right, making sure these clear the blower as it comes down. Just the way that they mount, well, you just got to bend the brackets in here pretty well to suit and line up, and they bolt through the side, whereas the other one's sort of bolted down on a 45. Yeah, it's just some of the things that you have to change to get it to work. As you can see, I've got real tight spaces around here, and That's your main fuel rail there. Like, you wouldn't want that any closer than what it is. Our air bypass has got to come up through here, so yeah. We've been told that it does work, and yeah, unfortunately it's just little bits of stuff that you have to work out and persevere through. Make sure make sure the job's going to last, rather than it's done and it breaks later on. So.
Ah, Keegs, we feel for you, mate. This sounds like your patience will be put to the test. We fear this may be the build Keegan loses that big grin. Here's the old diffuser and intercooler that have been packed up and away to make room for the new gear. The size difference between the stock and the new diffuser seems intriguing.
About a quarter of the size, and it won't be as deep either, it'll be a little bit shallower.
The stock seems to be bigger, yet the new unit has a much larger volumetric capacity. Steve and Keegan placed the massive unit over the manifold to begin sizing up what work will need custom fabrication and further modification.
Nice and gently.
It's actual chocolate, just like I bought one.
Thank you very much, Steve. All right, she's on. This is what we're having problems with, getting the clearance around all these. Now I've got to mount this down here to run, and then we'll bend our bracketing to suit. As you can see, it's not perfect. Call it universal. It will be fitted. Yeah, because that's why I'm having so much trouble, because I've got all these pipes, fuel rail. The outlets on the US fuel rails run out the back, so yeah, it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to fight all this stuff, apparently. So I've been told anyway. At the moment, I'm only doing a loose fit, so I'm leaving all the bolts loose. Blower's not actually bolted down at the moment, just in case I have to remove it. Looks like I'm going to have to remove it. Actually, that might work. Yeah, the flange, just lubing the flange. Bit of Vaseline helps it slide. Good stuff.
We chatted about the record, about making it with Wayne Connolly, and about why it's got some much heavier bikes this time around. That chap living right now at Australia's.
Make sure it clears our fuel lines over here and wire.
Ready for the next 3 minutes. This is new music from Delma Collins.
Alright, and that's how our air bypass should look. It allows more air to flow, keep the engine at an idle speed, just in case it fluctuates. So sometimes with these things, when you put big cams in them and stuff like that, they need to catch themselves. In the VEs, with our Holdens and stuff, sometimes they use a big hole in the throttle body, help the air draw through a lot faster.
So this is how it should look when it all comes together. The bigger piping gives the engine better breathing performance. With the intercooled air intake and blower cooling, this super condenses the air to create the ideal combustion environment with excellent fuel-to-air mix. More wide open throttle after the break.